Yeah. Are you finding now too that a lot of young people are quite indecisive and have no idea what they want to do or the expectations of what a job involves? And I guess as a young person myself, I didn't know what it was going to be like necessarily in the workplace, although I did have a part-time job. So I had an understanding of, you have to turn up to work on time, you have to do the job properly, you have to follow the rules and, work with customers. But are you finding there's a lot of young people who are not in part-time work now? So they're not really fully prepared even just to work. Um,
Mm.
and also to make a big decision of whether they do go to university or go straight into the workforce when you have no real understanding of yourself as a person and what your interests are. And particularly now, I guess the interests and hobbies of young people have changed. And are you finding that a lot more now with teenagers where they're a bit directionless, I guess.
Yeah, I guess there's two things there. The first one was what I really noticed was a disruptor was COVID, obviously.
Mm.
We had a 2-year gap there where young people were really affected by remote learning and lockdowns in particular, in terms of precarious work, the industries that were most affected by the lockdowns were places where young people work.
Mm.
Restaurants, cafes, all of retail, they were closed down. So young people weren't getting part-time jobs. They weren't working in part-time jobs. They were often the first ones to lose their jobs. So there was that interruption there. And I think the effects of that are still being seen as well. Because there are gaps in people's resumes. And then when you're thinking about, I worked a lot with year nines in 2022 on building resumes. There was a 2-year gap. And you're saying to them, tell me about a time when you did this and this, and you were in a sporting team. No, we didn't play sport for the last 2 years.
Yeah. Even sports.
Yes. Yeah, you didn't, oh, we didn't go on camp. There was this 2-year gap that they had nothing to write on their resumes,
Mm.
because they were in their houses. So what could they write?
Yeah.
And you're still sort of seeing that to some extent, not as much now, but there is sort of a group of young people that were more affected by that. And then the other part is that idea of indecision. And what I am seeing, what I was seeing in the classroom, was that a lot of young people felt really reluctant to make decisions and didn't feel ready.
Mm.
Um, and you can see that